Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily is part of the Modern Grower Podcast Network. Check out some of our other shows like Carrot Cash Flow, the Growing Microgreens Podcast, and Farm Small, Farm Smart. Learn more about the shows using the link below.
It's better to, and maybe better is not the right word, to focus on increasing profits early on in a business or increasing sustainable systems and perfecting your craft. I don't want to imply that they're mutually exclusive, but I could focus on doing things that, like putting up tunnels that don't increase profitability, but it helps me longer term. Or I could focus on, let's just say, selling at the expense of really learning how to grow. I'm bringing in more sales, but I'm not necessarily growing better. You only have so much time. You only have so much bandwidth. There's capital limits. And again, I know they're not mutually exclusive, but if you think about businesses and farm business early on, do you focus on getting better, putting systems in place? We'll assume this includes like covering costs as a basic. We're not just going into perpetual debt here. Or do you focus on profits? Like the first year, just make money and then perfect stuff later.
My experience would be, and advice would be, to think about cash is the lifeblood of every business, as the very hackneyed saying goes, but it's so true. I would focus on selling. That's partly one of the reasons we bought transplants. We call transplants to grow on, because they get to market quicker. I can go back and learn how to grow it from the seed to the transplant stage when I've got a bit more time. But if I haven't got customers buying things from me, wherever they come from, whatever it is, I haven't got a business. And so for me, the most important thing is finding customers, finding what it is they want to buy, finding if they want to buy from you and giving it to them and building that relationship, building that trust.
So the best thing Sorry.
In a sense, just you're pulling a rope from the front, you're pulling that through, and everything else will pull through behind. Because if you're growing, if you're selling to customers, now I've got to grow something or buy something to sell to them. And now I need somewhere to store that stuff. And now I need somewhere to pack that stuff. And so you'll build the business up behind it. Just reminds me of that, was it Zappos, that famous story, who the shoe brand, they just put a picture of a shoe on a website. Didn't have any manufacturing capability at all. Got a sale. They thought, what the hell do we do now? They found out what to do. And eventually they built back through their business right to the manufacturing side. Is probably a very apocryphal story, but that's the lean startup method. Start with doing something with your customer, get the feedback. Did they like that? Did they buy that? Did they come back for it? Did they enjoy consuming the product? And then the next thing is, if my customer likes that and they like me selling it to them, I can make that myself then. So we are making it ourselves. Theoretically, you don't even have to do that. It's fine. Get your customers first. So that's where I'll start, Diego.
Yeah. And sorry, I got it in there, but that's what I was echoing is the customer base is the most valuable thing you have early on. Get it as big as possible. Because I could see even a startup farm, if you can't produce everything, you could buy it from another farm. And that maybe a farmer's market or something might not let you, but you hit the nail on the head, I think there, Rob. If they trust you, they want to buy from you, you can provide it, then you can grow it later. And we've talked to Chaz and other people about eventually, like, they can't make all their own stuff. So it has to get made to factory, but they're buying with your name, your branding, your recipe, that type of thing. So it's expand that customer base as much as you can, because I guess the trap is you fall in love with other things, right? I need to get this like soil so amazing, and you spend forever falling into the soil trap or perfecting tomato grafting or something like that, which is important, but it's nowhere near as important, right?
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. And like, I think you've been living this anyway, haven't you? Did you say in one of the last recent podcasts that you bought some produce in from your employer to your stall, just one or two products? Yes, that's a great way. One, it fills your stall up and means that people come to you because you've got a good selection. Two, if they like that, if they buy that stuff from you, maybe you can grow it next year. There's nothing to lose, is there? Sorry.
Yeah, we were able to do that, to pad our numbers, so to speak, for a large event. Unfortunately, it was a kind of a one and done thing. I went back the next week and it was like, oh yeah, and they're like, yeah, man, we can't really. It just happened to land on. I was desperate enough that I guess they were willing to sell to me, and they happen to have a little bit of a glut in those particular things. But it showed me that there are certain items that I wasn't selling at the moment. And I was like, oh, these actually can be profitable at the particular price that I have to sell them at to turn a profit. For instance, peppers, like bell peppers, I wouldn't have sold them at $5 a pound. But I knew if I didn't sell them at $5 a pound, because I had to pay for them and I still need to recoup that cost and take a little off the top of that, I have to charge that. And now the peppers that I'm growing and selling, I'm selling them for $6 a pound. And so even if it was just for the experience of, okay, let's see how the market likes it. Are they willing to pay this price? Are they coming back and wanting it? All right. So now it's a good, not only does it give us a little bit of cash flow, but it's market research so that we're able to pivot and maybe adjust prices or adjust the selection. Like I'm not growing those peppers that I sold because they're a really striking purple Islander pepper, but man, people seem to love them. So I need to consider that next year. And I would have never had that if it wasn't like, I just have to have something on this table to sell for something. And it's like we've talked about previously, Diego, of just that minimally viable product. Just get something that you can sell, or at least tell someone that you're trying to sell. I even think about that with restaurants. I've heard so many different farmers and people say, don't come to a chef empty-handed. You need to bring them like a full case of something so they can really work with it and they can put it through its paces on their line and blah, 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 blah. And my first meeting with like my first big restaurant account, I was like, man, I can't do that. But I could bring 2 bunches of turnips, a bag of arugula, and 2 tomatoes. That's just all I had at the moment. And it was like, but this is a minimally viable, like this is actually something that I grew that I can present to them. And they ended up being blown away by the quality of what I had. Where would they have been blown away if I would have brought an 8-pound case of fresh arugula? Probably, but realized, oh no, they just needed something like the minimally viable thing that they can realize, oh, this is what the potential is. And instead of me just trying to sell a bill of goods or sell the hype of the potential, I could do that. And there's been many times we've been at the farmer's market, we've done that, and I have next to nothing, and my time may be spent better taking a day off or just working on the farm as opposed to going to market. But we just got to keep going, keep showing our customers that we have stuff. And even if it's the first harvest of this, we're going to bring the 2 pounds of okra and just see if we can sell it instead of waiting for it to be the best version of itself that it can be and then present it. I think so many times we get caught up in, we don't want to unveil something until it's perfect, as opposed to just getting out there. I think I'm a big space nerd. And so the 2 up and coming companies are Blue Origin and SpaceX, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. One company is doing everything in secret behind closed doors to inevitably unveil a rocket that will change the world, while another company is doing it all out completely in the open, live streaming and everything and showing all of their epic failures along the way. And at least personally in my business, I feel like that's a much more sustainable, honest, and lesson learning way of doing it, is instead of just like taking these steadily easy steps of trying to reach perfection. It's just, let's just be messy. Let's be seemingly chaotic at times, but we're just getting product to market. We're getting it in front of customers. We're generating some semblance of cash flow, and then we can learn from those things and then take that cash flow and hopefully reinvest it in. And then one day, maybe perfection will be reached, or maybe it'll just be messy and chaotic till the end of time. Either way, we're still going to keep cranking it out.
Yeah. I think perfection being the enemy of good. I think one of you said that in the past as well. And that's so true, isn't it? And going back to your experience with the restaurants, had you not turned up at all because you didn't have the perfect thing, then they weren't going to be blown away. They had no chance of being blown away. At least if you turn up with 2 turnips and a handful of onions, there's a chance that they'll be blown away. And the fact that you've done so and been honest about where you are on your journey, this is all we've got, but it's bloody good, isn't it? They're much more likely to, immediately, they're going to empathize with you and build trust and rapport with you. And want to support you for all the right reasons. You're not doing that as a kind of to be sneaky. You're just being you up front. I'm standing here in front of you. I'm not perfect. This is where I am in my journey. This is what I produce. Whatever I bring you, it'll be the best I can do. And that honesty, other small business owners it'll really resonate with them, and it'll be very successful.
Hello, growers. Looking for a simple way to supercharge your diet with powerful nutrients? Meet broccoli microgreens. These tiny sprouts pack 10 to 100 times more nutrition than mature broccoli, making them a true superfood. With their mild flavor, broccoli microgreens can be added to any meal or smoothie, giving you a tasty health boost. They're easy to grow, ready in just 7 to 9 days, and thrive in various environments. Rich in sulforaphane, calcium, vitamin C, vitamin A, iron. They protect your cells and fight inflammation. Perfect for boosting your health goals or as a market crop. Start growing them today and experience the benefits. Get 100% organic, pathogen tested and pathogen free broccoli microgreen seeds at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.